Hi everybody. The topic for today is Lessons from Jonah, and this is part 1. In the book of Jonah, chapter 1, verses 1 and 2, it says, "The word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me." So Jonah was given specific instructions. He was given the where, the what, and the why. He was told where to go, which was to go to Nineveh. He was told what to do, and that was to preach against this people that were in that city or country, whatever it was. He was also told why, because of their wickedness. In verse 3, it says, "But Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed for Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship bound for that port. After paying the fare, he went aboard and sailed for Tarshish to flee from the Lord." It says in that verse that Jonah actually ran away from God. He didn't want to do what God told him to do, so he ran away. He actually paid money to do so, because he paid money to get on the ship that was actually going in the opposite direction of where God told him to go. In verse 4, it says, "Then the Lord sent a great wind on the sea, and such a violent storm arose that the ship threatened to break up." It didn't take long. It didn't take long for something to happen for Jonah to realize that God was not pleased with Jonah's plan. Verse 5 says, "All the sailors were afraid, and each cried out to his own God, and they threw the cargo into the sea to lighten the ship." So here you have these men that are on this ship with Jonah, and they don't know him, but they started actually praying to their own gods, because the storm was so violent that they were afraid that they were going to die, because the winds were so strong, the waves were so strong, they thought the ship was going to break. They even started to get rid of some of their things and throw some of their personal belongings overboard just to make the ship lighter, trying to lighten the load so that they don't die out there in the sea. Lesson number 1 is we cannot run from God. Lesson number 2, our choices affect those around us. Whether we have an addiction of any sort, whether we are in an unhealthy relationship, or if we just have unhealthy habits in our lives, our decisions and our choices affect those around us. One of the things that I found was so interesting in verse 5 is how the men were actually trying to lighten their load. And I know that sometimes in life we do the same thing. We are burdened down by situations in our life or things that we may not want to deal with. And we look at what it is that we can throw away to lighten our own load and make our lives much easier. And I just want to point out that God never, ever, ever should be one of the things that we choose to throw away to lighten our load in life. My encouraging scripture is going to come from Psalm 51, verse 9. Excuse me. It says, "Hide your face from my sins and blot out all my iniquity.